Darbeen says time for immersion time, for the best time of times.
Hello everybody, welcome into Murkwatch Act 3, Session 7. Let's get on with the game, shall we? Okay, let's see. Here we go.
We'll just be like deathly silent.
Hello! Right, okay.
Greetings.
No.
Hello.
Thank you, I've noticed. We last joined our heroes, having pulled themselves from the fiery depths within the Lady Greyhawk, with the Lady Greyhawk in their capture, and another rare magic-like creature. Another magic-like creature, the resemblance to Penny. The quick-witted mage, Derek, pulled it from the shards of crystal in its hibernating state, and then they quickly escaped, followed by the five, now clearing and allowing the fiendish rift to turn in on itself and close, leaving Ardenaxon and his creatures trapped in their own existence. The soldiers...
Didn't Ardenaxon blow up?
Yeah, but who's to say he's dead? Who's to say he's dead? I might bring him back. Who knows? I liked him. He was cool. The soldiers quickly took the injured and our heroes, locking them away and separating them from one another as they attempt to work out what sort of fiendish influence might have affected them. The next few days, they have been secluded and left with only their thoughts as the days go by. So, we'll say this. As you all were pulled from your comfortable lodgings and locked away in order to essentially keep yourselves, allow you to basically not have a cohesive story, as for some reason the Empire has, well, come into some sort of disruption in its leadership. So, considering I'm guessing Alpaca is still technically on the road, we will start with Pandad and Ramus.
Oh no.
So, Panda, you find yourself sitting in a makeshift cell. It's clearly not big enough for you, and it's clearly in the way... Oh, give me a second. I gotta change something. It's gonna fuck with me the whole time. There we go. So, you find yourself in a makeshift cell with Ramus sitting beside you, doing what Ramus does. Sitting, squatted, legs crossed, meditating. It's been a week. Well, I mean, a couple of days. Let's not say a whole week. It's been a couple of days where you've literally just been brought food, water, and every time you ask, you know, what's going on, you're given a vague answer. Until one day, you hear a familiar, well, you hear the wood outside as someone starts to fiddle around with your key. And on that, suddenly the door opens. And you see a familiar figure with two Imperial soldiers wearing the gold and black colors, standing by the side of the Watcher of the Avatar. He steps into the cell and he looks at both of you for a moment. Only then for him to tell you to stand up, and he then takes you from your cell down the road and along to a makeshift table, which has clearly been just thrown together because they're trying to keep you apart. You haven't seen any recollection of your companions ever since the day that you came out from the volcanic fiendish lair. You're both told to sit down at the table, and there you are greeted by the bright blue eyes of the Watcher as he stares at both of you. So, I would like to know what happened in there. He stares at both of you.
Yeah. A lot of things. We chased down, the spider back to its lair, and then found, what would you call him, a warlock? Arnaxon?
Arnaxon. This name. When was the first time it was brought up? He looks at Ramus.
Anything to my knowledge, it was when we started entering the cave area. At least from what I remember. I do not recall an earlier response to this.
He pulls out a parchment, rolls it flat on the table. With one hand, he pulls out like what looks like some sort of gemstone, and it's a bluish hue to it. as he seems to run his thumb across it. Some sort of incantation he mutters underneath his breath as a feather seems to pull from his palm and form a fountain pen as he begins to scribble down notes of your descriptions. So, I have a question for both of you. You both claim that you're soldiers of the Empire, correct?
Yeah. I mean, Murkwatch, but yes.
I do not claim to be a soldier of the Empire. I am a monk of Tyr.
Where do your loyalties lie?
To the side of good.
He seems to roll the gem in his hand, staring at you, Ramus. Your intent seems that of good. What can you tell me?
Tyr's will.
What can you tell me of Lady Greyhawk?
Myself, I do not know her all too well. I came here over a year ago and met her and Lord Greyhawk, and from there we have gone on to some missions, but we came across her again in the lair of this Ardenaxen, and there she was trying to, in the middle of making a deal with the, I don't know, demon warlock, whatever it is, and I'll tip Handad just to sort of clarification of, like, it, you know, we'll just say it's like a demon warlock thing.
I've never seen anything like that thing in my life, but yes.
No, it kept changing its form, so it is hard to describe.
A shapeshifter.
Of sorts, yes, but its true form, I do not know what it is.
Is there anything else that you witnessed that was strange?
Well, Martin Axon was able to duplicate himself. That was a little weird, but Tyr let us know who the real one was, so.
You managed to feel the power of Tyr, even in such a place. He almost seems surprised. Can I get, give me an insight check from both of you.
An inside?
Insight check, yes please.
Okay.
Yes, use your inside dice, not your outside.
Yeah, use your inside dice. Yeah.
Do we roll the inside dice inside?
Yeah, that would be nice.
You better not bring your inside dice outside.
Remember, we're on 19, this is going to be the 19th critical one. 6, okay.
6.
You're, okay. Oh, okay. You know what, never mind.
6 that's a 9 total.
Before you can really recognize the look on his face, he glances back down. His hand hides under the table, hiding the gem once more, as he continues to write his notes. His long beard kind of like shrewd almost, as he like twitches his lips.
As he does, Ramas will continue. But the other strange thing of the lair that, because we first went into the mountain within the volcano, and there was a crystal there that we witnessed him, or he was witnessed touching and going through as a portal. We then traveled through it as well and came to his lair. There it was, I would assume his true form, but a giant beast, and in the middle of the room was a strange crystal. Basically describe the crystal that we saw. It was...
Can I get a wisdom saving throw from both of you? As you see the man stand up from the table, he rolls the parchment in his hand, bringing his hand up as you see a bright light from the blue gem in his palm. It basically lights up the room for a second as you feel it hitting you, and I would.
That's a 15.
Okay.
5.
Panda. you feel yourself compelled to tell the truth. He asks you a question. Do you find yourself responsible for what had happened inside the?
Inside the
Inside this fiend's pit? Do you find yourself responsible for the outcome of people being hurt?
Yes, I do.
And what do you say, Ramos?
Do you mean the party that I was with, or everyone around the continent in general?
He doesn't seem to specify.
If it is for my party, then they are their own beings and they do as they will. But if it is of the people, and I hope that whatever we have done will be of benefit to the people of this land.
He then glances to the door as one of the well-groomed Imperial soldiers then stands nodding, only to then come around to behind you and almost like tug you out of the chair. The other guy, unfortunately, tries to do that with Panda's chair, but it just is like, and he just almost waits for you to get up.
Yeah, probably best if I just get up.
So you both are then escorted back to your cell, where you were put back inside. The Watcher does not follow you, as one of the guards basically leaves the door open for a moment, only to look in and say, "Well done, lads. You'll be here soon." And after that, closes the door behind you, leaving you to the silence. And as another knock at a door, quite like yours, when Nox and Ruby. Nox has been, you find yourself awakening in a room, much like one that you would have probably been accustomed to in your earlier days coming to Murkwatch. You notice that Ruby is sitting there, fiddling with her axe, twiddling her thumbs, as you both share the same cell. You are then taken by the guards to the command center, pulled up in a chair, both sitting down in a room, and you notice once more the Watcher. You can't quite tell what time of day it is. You don't know if it's the third day or the fourth day, or even it's just the second day. Something seems weirdly obscured about your attention to time as you are sat down in this chair. The Watcher then stares at both of you for a moment, staring into Ruby's eyes, pulling his blue gem once more from his pocket, and then laying out yet again another piece of parchment. As he turns his eyes to you, Nox, he asks the question: "Did you find Lady Greyhawk behaving strangely in the last few weeks?"
Few weeks? Well, she was a pretty nasty kisser back in that lair, so
She
I have some scars to prove it.
hissing, "What? Do not toy with me, dragon."
You don't really know much of what happened.
This is the whole premise of this interview.
Well, I don't know much about her specific behavior, since we didn't interact much, neither before, neither after I entered Murkwatch. But after we entered the lair in order to save her, or someone who looked like her, I was ordered alongside Derek Longsar, the mage, to open her glass coffin. Within that coffin, unfortunately with me being alone near it, was seemingly suffocating Lady Greyhawk. After which she kissed me, and I died.
Does he speak the truth? He stares at you, Ruby.
He does.
You look rather fine for someone who has passed on.
I got better.
He was only mostly dead.
Who was involved in this expedition? I want names.
Shadur, Argo Vinomiaga, Derek Longsa, Ruby, Peneneth, Othek, yours truly, Nox, Ramas Fizim, and lovable Goblin Pigspot.
This last one, this Pigspot, when did he join your party?
Around half a day walk away from here.
Where is he now?
Dead.
For the most part, you seem to be speaking the truth. He then takes what looks like pipe, like a little box containing some pipe,
Like a
weed.
metal pipe to drop
Yeah.
it.
No. He brings out a huge mace. Where did you get this from? No. So he brings out a small pipe case and opens it, and then basically, which you would assume that like maybe this old watcher is maybe a pipe smoker, but instead he turns the little tray and he pushes it forward to the other side of the table, leaving it there for a moment as he stares from one of you to the other.
What's in the tray?
From what you see in front of you it looks like a wooden pipe, which has got like several like different kind of herbs, or not herbs, but what's the term I'm looking for? God damn it! Different types of tobacco leaves. Are you familiar with these?
Very thoughtful of you, but as you can see, what can passes my lips is currently in shreds. It was very nice of you to not let any healers near me for a couple of days.
It's important that we find out if any of you have fiendish pacts.
Where's that coming from?
The Empire takes rifts opening up very seriously.
I can tell.
You, orc. He takes the pipe, almost like not even looking, like not even moving it, just literally looking at it and then looking to you. Are you familiar with these? Your kind use them.
No. I've never seen them.
Interesting. He then reaches over, closing the case up rather quickly, locking it, pulling it back down, and slipping it under his robe. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I would like to finally hear the question you really want to ask.
Perhaps there will be time for that later. Tell me this, Dragonborn. What commitments do you have to the Empire?
Barely any.
And you, Orc?
Same.
You do realize I'm a convict, right?
Through the Lord's way, you can be granted forgiveness. It is a tier to serve justice, not us.
Yeah, it was already promised to me once. By people who sounded exactly like you. That's how I got here. And so far I got nothing but scars to show for it.
Tell me this, Dragonborn. For someone who seems to be coming out of what I would call death, you seem to be talking quite a lot for someone who has received no medical attention.
I get lonely cooped up in the small spaces for a long time.
Seems to curl his eyes at you. Not sure. Can I get a wisdom saving throw from both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There's my 5.
There's my 8 or 9.
Jesus. Okay. Is this the day? Is this the game? Okay. Never mind. It's fine. It's okay. This should be interesting. All right. You feel compelled to tell the truth. He looks at you for a moment as he pulls his the large blue gem from his hand, showing it to you, standing up once more and making a big show of it, almost like, you know, the power of Christ compels you kind of attitude. In that, the light seems to glare, bouncing off your eyes, as he asks you a question. Do you find Lady Greyhawk guilty of treason against the Empire?
No. Why would I? Desperate people go for desperate measures. I don't know her reasoning, but from what I understood as we went back alongside with her, she seemed pretty fine to me.
What about you, Orc? Did you find Lady Greyhawk guilty of treason?
No. But I don't know her that well, so.
Interesting. Your reasoning is lack. Take them away. He stands up, leaving the room as the guards then take you and move you to your cell.
Is the pipe still on the table?
No, he put it under his robe. He took it.
I want to nick something. Sure.
And, sorry, we'll do, Garrick and Othak. Once more, you're, taken from your abode. Funnily enough, Derek's managed to somehow convince the Empire that him and, unfortunately, Othak, that they can he can stay under house arrest instead of a horrible cell for himself. So he's had all of his books to read, his little trinkets of comfort that he has enjoyed. Othak has enjoyed none of these the entire time that he's been over staying at Derek's house. But
I have a card game.
You have board games. It's called Gloomhaven.
It's my limited edition Gears 5 Monopoly set.
It's the only board game you've got. Then you're stuck playing it with Othak. All right. As you were taken to the command center, you were put in front of the chair. A couple of glasses are put in front of you, and you see this old man who I don't think you've paid any attention to the Watcher your times, have you? It's mostly been
No.
I think so. The Watcher, I think this might be the first time you've probably talked to him face to face. As he sits down, he looks at Othak. Othak just staring almost stoically, not really paying much attention besides why he's involved in this ridiculous
Kerfuffle's a good word.
kerfuffle or a dramatic democracy problem that we seem to be having here. But the Watcher then turns his eyes to you, taking the familiar blue crystal in his hand, clenching it tightly, as then he reaches with his free hand, pulling out what looks like a long silver necklace with a giant red ruby in the center. He then pushes it forward onto the desk and looks at you specifically, saying, "What is that?"
That's a pendant with a ruby.
Give me an Arcana check.
Yes, sir. Also, can you check DMs?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Sorry.
Just so I know if I can use it or not. Oh shit! It's loading.
Yeah, well, that's how you got your house. That's why that's
Okay,
primarily
okay.
the reason why you're not in a cell, because Portella had moved her big dick around and said, "No, you can't treat my people like that."
14.
14. Okay. With your 14, you notice the necklace that has now been splayed in front of you. From it just being presented to you, you already can notice that it is magical in sense. With your book knowledge, and now with your practical experience from being in an actual fiend realm, like having touched one of the planes of hell by entering Ardenexon's lair, you become very familiar with how certain magic is, and this definitely gleams off fiendish magic. As
Did you find that on Lady Greyhawk by any chance?
You were aware of this.
Aware of what's the
This
old fiendish deal?
he,
Between her
he
and,
looks down
Pete?
at his paper, starts writing some notes. You are aware of what this is.
Nope, it is the first time that I have, seen this item up close.
You have any idea what kind of power it holds?
As of right now, no, I don't know what it can do, but I can assume that it has some kind of so it must be the fruit of the deal that she made with the fiend Ardenexon.
You are
That
also
allowed
familiar with this name, this creature, this fiend.
I only met him last week.
You speak some truth. You have no ties to the Empire, correct?
No, not that I'm aware of, but no.
Your employer, Portella,
Yes.
she looks out for you. Why is that?
Because I'm special.
Huh. Yes.
I mean, you must have heard about it when the Hawk's Nest got attacked. I defended the whole tavern alone against multiple spiders, at
Okay.
least 5 or 6 of them.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on. I have multiple weaknesses, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. He was protecting the tavern.
he looks. He looks.
I'm gonna be honest. I have more witnesses to my antics
He,
than you to yours.
he looks down at his paper and he starts to read what looks like witness statements.
By someone by the name Derek L.
15.
This graphic designer says that they. No. He looks at you and then almost kind of like curls his lip as in a trying to hold back a smile. It is a shame. You would have made a good cleric, but I understand the point and perhaps the use of magic users. Perhaps you are one of the better ones.
Just a little correction. The best.
He then looks to Othak, who's, almost I want to say, being rather cooperative for the most part, considering. Then realizing that this lizard man does not really have any connection towards
Hawk's Nest by
to the Hawk's Nest. He's unfortunately, because of the way the scouts of the Hawk's Nest work, most of them are literal hires, or they already belong on this island, which is why most of the ones are, like, I think the only ones that are hired by the Greyhawks, or were hired by the Greyhawks, were Sin, and the other ones that, like, Charlie, and the other, I can't remember the character's name because it's been a while since we did it. But Othek is one of the outsourced scouts, almost, thanks to Kedwin and his outreach program when it comes to meeting other like-minded races that want to join and essentially free their island. He takes a moment, only then to look at you once more, Derek, and he asks you, "Where do your loyalties lie?"
In the pursuit of knowledge and mastering the magics.
But you were a friend of the Empire, correct?
Well, my family has ties with them. Yes.
This is what Portella said. All right, you may return to your home.
All right, Attack. Let's continue our game.
Maybe we can finally clear the first level. All right, as you two get up, you're actually allowed to just leave. You're not held under guard. As the final pair, I would say you are Penny and Shay. You find yourselves having been locked in this cell-like bedroom for like the last 2 days. Finally, Shay, you are awoken. The door is open. There are no guards. It's just the Watcher as he stares down at you, essentially walking closer and kind of like not trying to interrupt you, but literally just like give you the time to get up. You know, I will say this: you're probably not in your armor. You're not in your, you're a little dressed down for now.
Civilian clothes for the time being. She's kind of been arrested for the time being, or detained, not arrested.
Detained is more accurate.
But so yeah, Shay would just be wearing some pretty simple, just common clothing. No armor, no weapons. So my AC is finally 10. Look at that.
Yeah, now to kill him, quick! The Watcher pulls a knife out and stabs you in the head. So, as you're taken into the command center, you and Penny, you were also sitting in the same room, like literally just curled up, just trying to do your thinking. I assume that your thoughts are with Swamp. Well, let's not call it Swamp Penny. Let's call it the fiendish figure that was recovered.
Penny is quite terrible. Penny is very afraid, right? Because he's still really a child, and this whole, why was he thrown in jail? What's happening? Shay's been trying to keep him calm, but he's really kind of like freaking out. Like we didn't do anything wrong. I know, why can't I go to my grove? So he's kind of freaking out about this whole thing, and so the door opening suddenly probably made him pee his pants a little bit, and he's just so he's afraid.
The Watcher takes his eyes almost like looking in your direction. You have spoken to the Watcher before. I think the last time you did was literally when you were talking with Shay and trying to make amends with the fact that Shay had not spent a lot of time with you recently. This is probably the most time that you and Shay have spent in a room together for the last 2 weeks. Despite your adventures, like, usually those are like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours long, depending on travel time.
And unless we're just fucking walking somewhere for 2 weeks on end.
So,
Can I get an insight check on this Watcher guy?
Sure, go for it.
Like I want to know, like, is he up to good? Is he trying to rail us? Like, does he actually have good intentions?
Yep, go for it.
So
While Penninith is doing that, Shay is going to be
11.
standing up and greeting him.
Okay. So he takes a moment to basically like take your hand, shakes it. You can feel like something wash over you, as if Tyr himself is looking down on you, not judging your actions. Even though the last time you were in combat, a lot of things went wrong. People got hurt, and you can't help but blame yourself and not listening to Tyr when it was important. The Watcher looks at you as if he can sense that guilt, and shakes his head, like he nods his head at you. Sorry, not shakes his head. Nods his head at you, and then looks over to Penny. You can kind of see that through your insight check. You can kind of see that he means well. It's more of a case of his intent is to find what all Tyrites want: justice. And the very fact of the nature of that there is a fiend or possible fiend present, and that is a problem. As Shay has said to you many times, that the knights, or not the knights, the paladins of Tyr, the clerics, any clergymen of Tyr essentially fear fiends the most, because they are literally like the biggest threat that's ever faced the Empire. So they are usually treated.
Not a fiend, right?
No,
I'm not a fiend.
Penny is more Fey touched. Penny is more Fey touched.
You're not going to come after me to string me up.
I think they would have done that already, especially when.
Come back changing looks every time. What are you, some kind of fiend?
Let us get you some water, get you some food on you, your skin and bones. And he walks out, and you can follow him into the command center.
Shay will help up Penninith if he's not stood yet, and what were you saying, Bean?
I was going to say, Mama Shay, can you get me a glass of milk?
We can get milk once we're
Penny will get up and will death grip on Shay's hand, and will walk, even though he's big, right? But he's gonna walk behind her and kind of he's just holding on to Shay for dear life, because he's just so out of his water.
Yeah, like a mother leading a toddler through a parking lot. Shay's gonna travel in the direction that the Watcher went.
So okay, he's basically kind of quick. Like you can sense in him that he's very matter of fact. He wants this done. He wants this. He's clearly a busy man for the last couple of weeks. He looks almost tired. There's in his eyes. It's like he's been awake for almost you can't tell, but that's mostly because from your time in seclusion, you're not really aware of how many days have passed. You don't know if it's because of some external magic, or if it's because of just how exhausted you were pulling yourself out of the hellish rift.
Out of a crumbling volcano, yeah.
Also, your hair is super frizzy.
Oh man, I think that's
my horn's frizzy too.
No, you don't. No. Your scales are just really dry.
I
didn't even know Penny had hair.
Yeah, he's
me neither.
He's got little feathers.
As you're brought down and the room is basically presented to you, almost rather less antagonistic. You're almost let's in. The two guards that are usually sitting there at the door, who you wouldn't recognize, because let's say this: on your way to the command center, you notice that all of the people that you essentially were in charge of, setting the patrols, setting the employment, the deployment, of your the patrols and groups and guard duty and all that jazz, the day-to-day duties, they're all replaced with these Imperial soldiers that seem to be yet very well armored. They seem to be carrying very sharp swords. They have almost musketeerian helmets, and their colors are matching. You could barely tell the difference between them as they stand stoically waiting in the line.
They come from Shay. Where'd they come?
They're from the Empire, Panetta. The mainland.
Are they bad? Are they good? Are they?
They're
Have to fight?
no, we're not fighting anyone, Panetta. They're just guards, and they're here to help.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Calm yourself, little one. Watcher says as he puts his hand on your shoulder, Penny. Sit down. I will get you something to eat, and I must ask you a couple of questions.
Of course, Watcher.
Perhaps you can tell me. Was Lady Greyhawk behaving stranger in the last couple of weeks? During the Harvest Festival, she seemed rather fine.
Penny's eyes get really big and be like, oh, she's not what we thought she was at all. We tried to save her. We ran after her. We tried to, and that weird little guy that wasn't a little guy. It was really like a big spider or something. And then he was like, I shouldn't have done this for you.
Shay's gonna put her hand on Panina's shoulder. Panina, calm down. We have to give him information.
Perhaps you should drink this. And he leans forward and basically takes like what is a kettle and pours some hot water into the little glass that he has. Well, not glass, tankard that he's put in front of you. As a warm smell of lavender almost hits your nose as he pushes it forward. Slow sips, boy. Slow sips. He then sits down, pulling out once more his book, and then lining a fresh sheet on the table as he stares at you, presenting himself with the blue gem, and then summoning a feathered pen from his sleeve. So, this Lady Greyhawk, was she behaving strangely?
From what I remember, whenever the town was first attacked, that's also the session I was absent.
Mm-hmm. You were putting a fire out.
Disappeared.
Yeah, I was busy extinguishing fires and helping defend civilians from the infernal spiders that were attacking. So I didn't get a line of sight on Lady Greyhawk to see how she was behaving.
From the other accounts that I have read, this is true. You and Master Penny were not involved in the killing of many of those creatures. You were more inclined in saving your citizens, your friends.
So much fire. Spiders made fire everywhere.
'Tis the way fiends are. I was also there, of course. But yet again, I must ask questions, even if I already know the answer to.
Of course.
Perhaps you have been corrupted by these fiends. It is only natural for us to check. We take fiends very seriously.
Trust me, Watcher, I understand the formalities.
Where do your loyalties lie, Master Sheodor?
My loyalties lie to Tyr and the people of Murkwatch, as well as those of the Empire, of course.
And you, young Penny?
Oh. My loyalties are here with Catatonia, my home, and restoring it to what it was and getting rid of the bad magic.
I appreciate your candor and your excitement for your home.
I don't know, Tyr. I don't understand. I don't understand.
We of the Empire.
I love my.
You do not have to understand, Tyr. It is not for all to understand. But what I wish to ask of you, young Penninith, despite this being your home, are you familiar with many fiends having residence on this isle? This Jadal figure, is he fiendish in nature?
No. Well, just a high elf that went crazy with his powers, trying to replicate the powers of the great Nudarth, who loved this place. But what do you mean? Is he fiendish by nature?
Was
he was
akin
he
to
was an
Artax?
elf.
Is this question.
No. Well, he could, because he was what? Well, wait, Manic. The kind of elf that him and Nudarth were is called.
An Eldarin.
Yeah. So okay. So he'll say he was just Eldarin. I don't think that they're not fiends. They don't make.
No.
They're just.
To make it clearer for you, he's basically asking if you think that Jadal has any connection to Artaxan or fiends of any sort. From your experience, I would say that Penny does not.
So, yeah, he just seems like he was just crazy with power.
Yep.
Nah, that's.
He glances back over.
Artaxan guy. Whoa.
He glances back over to Shay, only to then give you a candid look of, more like kind of looking for some reasonable knowledge rather than just, he kind of gets the feeling that Penny is more reactive when it comes to explaining things, which is not what he's akin to when it comes to interrogations. But the honesty of Penny is something that contradicts your slow and more methodical way of saying things, which is probably why they put you together in the first place. So he can judge the way you behave. He looks to you and says, "So, were you aware of any fiendish magic in your time here? Think back."
I would say prior to the attack, I can't say that I have any recollection of prior fiendish magics.
What about you, Penenith? Fiendish nature of magic. Are you aware of portals being ripped open and creatures with large claws peeling from said realm?
My eyes get really big and I kind of visually back away. I'm like, no, just that weird little gem we touched that Artaxan used to pop around, but that wasn't a rip portal thing. No.
I see. Well,
You're
Sheodor.
talking about talking frogs, right? You're not talking about those.
Talking frogs. Ah, you mean the bullywogs? Yeah, they're not fiends, no. Yeah, more, well, easier to explain. He looks to you, Shay, wrapping up his papers almost and saying, "I am sorry that I have had to detain you and your party for the last week. It was not necessary, but we have decided that Lady Greyhawk is no longer fit for service, and she will be transported to Murkwatch and taken back home, where she will be judged by Tyr."
With the information that we had gathered, I do believe that would be the best for her. And hopefully her soul is not damned.
It's not us. It is not up for us to decide the fate of those who have touched fiendish power. It is for
Mr.
Tyr.
Watcher, where's my brother? I need to help him. You kept me here too long. Where's my brother?
Are you speaking of the other creature that was pulled from the...
Yeah, he needs my help. I have to help him.
Do not worry. You will be able to find your brother. It's sooner rather than later. For now, I wish you to return to your quarters and await, and we will release you tomorrow. Once I have... yes. You will return there for now. This is not... I'm not asking nicely, I'm telling you. As an Imperial soldier...
wrong.
That you have been contracted since your first day in Murkwatch. You are now soldiers of the Empire, and you will do as you are told.
Come now, Penenith. There's no point in arguing. These are orders.
Like grow and Go to my grove.
You can return to your grove soon. Eat up, and once you're finished here, return to your cells. He stands up and turns, only to head out the door. The door is left open, giving you the option to, go when you're ready. Although you do see the looming presence of one of the guards suddenly just take stand by the door, almost listening into your conversation, not even not even trying to hide the fact that he's watching you.
Does that door lead outside by chance?
Yeah, it just leads out to the main mess hall.
What time of day is it?
It seems to be about almost getting to mid afternoon, so about 3, 4, 5 o'clock.
Okay. Well, Shay is going to stay seated and just eat for a minute and make sure she actually is well fed for once.
Okay.
Making sure Paninith does the same.
Okay. So the last, what I'll do is I'll give you guys a moment to chat between yourselves. So Pandad and Ramas, we can take up for when you return to your cell. If you want to have any questions or looming thingies or any plans or whatever, just feel free.
I don't know if I have any questions.
No, that's fine. If you don't have anything to literally throw out there, I mean, you've been detained for about a week.
Yeah.
With no reasons besides the obvious ones. You have essentially been soldiers for hire, but it's never felt like you've been soldiers for hire. You've always felt like you've been the A-team. You're the A-team of this Hawk's Nest. And now things seem different. You're being mistreated. You are no longer in the seat of power that you thought you were. People don't seem to... You haven't heard any familiar voices in the last couple of days. You don't know if it's because they've not tried to come visit you. You've not met any of your friends. You've not heard any of your friends coming to see you.
Welcome to my world.
Okay, well, if you guys don't have anything, I mean, do you want to do any just role-playing or whatever?
It would depend. Right after the interrogation?
It's basically right after the interrogation, yeah.
I mean, they said they were going to let us out soon.
Yeah. So.
But, I mean, yeah, Pandad would be kind of confused as to what's kind of going on, seeing all the Empire people around, and not so much Greyhawks around. I mean, that and not wondering where the friends are, but assuming that they're all being caught up in the same shit as we are right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I will mention that Pandad is not in bear form inside of the cell to save on some space.
Okay, yeah.
I want to I could have had a comfy bed.
All right, what was that? Sorry, Derek? What's Derek wanting?
Call my lawyer.
Okay, you're calling your lawyer? Okay. We'll say that, during that moment, you hear the very familiar rat-a-tat-tat against your door. As a familiar voice rings out. Tella says she's busy. She can't come see you.
I'm not opening. I'll just peek from the window. What do you want?
Listen. Portella's busy. She says, though, tomorrow you gotta come and see you. She's got some important questions she wants to talk to you about.
Well, I do too. Now bring her.
She can't right now. Unfortunately, she's been having to deal with your bullshit.
You're just jealous because she takes care of me and not you.
It's not my fault I don't have a bloody babysitter. I'm not 12.
Well, thank God you're not.
And you just hear something that seems like someone's inhaling a snot, and then all you hear is a loud on your window.
Good thing you didn't have any rock.
Give me the sword.
No.
It's the first thing he said in weeks. All right. Okay. As Hamish turns and walks down the way away from the house, you see his shape eventually disappear as you're left with Othek staring at this weapon that he has. I guess you haven't pulled it out of its sheath yet?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. I will say that, Derek, you noticed that sword is not something he had before when he came out of the...
Yeah, I mean, I would have seen Benenet give it to...
Yeah.
I mean, I would have seen it on our way back.
Yeah,
so...
you would have seen it. You would have seen
Or
it.
heard it because,
Or
you know,
heard it,
Penny's loud.
I mean, yeah. That's more likely. That's more likely.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything that you would like to discuss with Othak before we move on to...
Do I have anything else to discuss with him?
Maybe your time in the volcano, or...
Are you sure you want to use this weapon? I mean, we kind of found it in a fiendish lair.
And they're powerful, right?
Could be cursed.
Huh?
The weapon.
The fact that he says fiends are powerful kind of scares you a little, just because of your natural knowledge of how fiends are essentially like deadly. Like, you're reminded about many stories from your parents and your grandfather and your grandmother about when the rifts opened up and fiends and tieflings came pouring through, only to end hundreds and hundreds of years later. The fact that a fiend has never really been seen in the Empire's reach for a while is something that is almost worrying to you, even though you've never seen a fiend yourself until recently, until now. The fact that this children's story has come to some realism, it gives Derek a little bit of a pause, I guess. Considering he has like a lot of things to be afraid of, he now has to add fiends to the list.
You're not thinking about chasing the fiends, are you?
If I'm thinking about what? Sorry?
About chasing back the fiend that you fought in the volcano.
Tarkuno.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And then
It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. I need to kill it.
Derek, you want the shovel a little bit bigger since you're digging this hole?
No. But this is a bit where Derek goes, okay, shut up, it's your turn.
Right, Derek. Listen, if you want me to not chase the fiend, show me a bigger target.
Have you ever heard about Jadal?
No.
So you spent the rest of the week telling him about Jadal?
Yeah, the whole story so far with
Okay,
Jadal, Penenet, and
You're telling me this now.
Such a
spending several days trying to teach me how to play Haven Gloom.
Haven Gloom, yeah.
It's Gloomhaven.
Shut up! We'll get fucking sued.
Bloomgraven.
Bloomgraven.
Playing fucking fish Jenga.
Yeah.
Benga. Right. So who's Jadal?
We can give overall kind of catch up for it, just for expedience reasons. But you were told about Jadal and how he is not necessarily a large a large enemy, like something scary like a dragon or give me a second. Sorry, that I missed that. Thanks. Not necessarily a large fiend that you would essentially kind of take as something that you could just, hang on your wall. I think Othak is one of those hunters that very much is like a game hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants a trophy. He wants something like this. But the fact that this your friends or your new friends,
acquaintances.
yeah, your acquaintances. I mean, okay, just distance yourself as much as you like. As your acquaintances kind of like point out this threat, which is not something that you've ever hunted. I don't think you've ever hunted a man before.
No, not unless you've got scales.
Yeah. But Jadal seems like, from what you can tell from the stories that Derek has told you, a man who is trying his best to take over this isle.
Fuck no.
Wait. There we go.
There we
Sorry,
go.
that was my bad.
He's on.
Now he's on.
That's why all the corruption is on this once beautiful island.
Okay.
Go kill him.
So, we'll move back slowly as you guys notice Nox and Ruby are once more sharing your cell, and it's been like a rather quiet time unless one of you have spoken up. As I mean,
Want to know more about the whole kissing
Probably
thing?
not.
no, okay. Well, I mean, anytime you feel like role playing, Gemma.
I know.
Anytime.
Come visit our cell, buddy.
Is he away?
I don't even if he's here.
Okay. Let's just switch to
Shay and Penny.
Shay and Penny, I guess. Shay and Penny. Go for it.
Penny goes over to Shay. Shay, when he was talking about those fiends, he wasn't talking about Croaker.
Can you not whisper? It's really it's like I can't hear what you're saying.
No, I whisper because there's like that guard, right?
Yeah.
And I go.
So you're
over
trying to be
Shay
quiet.
and I
Okay,
whisper. Right. I'm purposefully trying to be very quiet.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Right into her ear. And you don't think he was talking about Croaker, right? Because Croaker's kind of like not a frog and not a bat and like he.
Well, I know that Croaker's very, so
unique.
I'd say Shay.
Welcome back to session 1. Penaneth the giant rat.
Well, welcome back, Nox, who was AFK for a minute.
I was grabbing liquids.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Sorry.
Tried to kiss you awake. I don't know.
but yeah, Shay will reply in a softer tone. She's not she's definitely not talking at her normal volume. She's talking a lot softer. I mean, I don't think he was referring to Croaker. Croaker's just a bit of a wacky little frog, I think.
Funny guy. Yeah. Even though you did literally cradle the fiendish form of Croaker in your palms during your escape.
Yeah, no, Shay's trying to ignore that.
Roll for repression.
roll for depression?
No, repression.
Memory repression.
Oh, okay, that's better than depression, I guess.
Okay, so as the night hits you, you guys end up basically calming yourself down. Unfortunately, I need Othak and Derek to roll a Constitution check. And before that, everyone else just seems
Check
to...
or saving throw?
Saving throw. Everybody ends up falling asleep, and basically you end up hearing the morning cockerels, the day turning to essentially yet again another morning. Unfortunately, you're usually up very early. Most of you are. I assume because maybe Derek isn't, just because, you know, he's not really a part of the outfit. Yeah, he usually likes to maybe have a little rest, get his morning eggs and his toast and...
Oh, look at the roomies rolling the same number.
Oh, isn't that cute? So, can I just say, let me quick, because I gotta check Tailspar, because I got a thing open. Give me a second. Okay, so, unfortunately, due to your roll, you both fall asleep playing Gloomhaven.
Well, that's what best friends do, right?
All right.
People, let me tell you about my best.
So, Okay. The morning hits you. The sun comes through the glass, waking you up as the doors are opened and you are let loose. Each one of you is met by an Imperial soldier. The face is not recognized, and he looks down at you and says, "Right, you're free to go. Nathaniel wants to speak to you. Be sure to go talk to him at some point. You are no longer, well, of your desired rank. Welcome back to Armsman." And he basically looks at all of you, and he says this as each one of you gets kicked out.
I look around. Wait, me too?
He pulls up a sheet and looks. "I don't think they filed the paperwork. It doesn't say you're an armsman."
Oh, okay.
And then he looks at, and then basically curls up the paper and then just goes down and heads off to his own patrol. As you guys are released onto your humble home of the Hawk's Nest.
Can I leave now?
You can if you want. Yeah, you're all free to go.
Thank you.
She kind of like looks down at her hands and be like, my fucking position. God damn it.
We'll say we'll go down the list. All right. What's the first thing that Pandad would like to do on his freedom? I will also say this. This is technically a session where if you want to replenish gear, potions, etc., now would be the time to do it. Just because this is a down session. It's literally a replenish. You guys are level 6. So feel free to resupply your equipment or things that you want to maybe barter for. Now, unfortunately, the Imperial is in charge. Bartering is a little bit different. You might need
So we need the fucking money now.
you might need to talk to the Merchant King, because he still doesn't mind trade. But if you want to do anything for money or Imperial sake, you might have to pay actual cash.
God damn it.
Thank God, Ortheg is loaded.
And we can't get our money
like
until we leave.
Yep.
That's
Sorry.
not the gobs of money that we had that was useless. Is that suddenly useful now? Oh wait, no, Lynx had it all, didn't she?
Yeah.
I thought all that Darthian coin was like stashed up somewhere.
That was given to the Merchant King, who then basically kind of converted it. Because he's like the cash exchange point, right? You're using old currency that nobody uses anymore, and the Imperial doesn't give a shit about because it's Newtarthian coins and Elven lords and Dwarven lords that you have never recognized before. It is made of gold, silver, and platinum and stuff like that, though, so it is still worth something. Just not back home. Not back home. It's only worth something kind of like in civilizations that are here. Unfortunately, you have not visited. You've not visited the elves. The dwarves are locked away, and the pirates who would probably use the coins you haven't visited either. So, all right, Panda, what is you're doing as the light hits your eyes and you enter the Hawk's Nest? You are greeted to a new day.
Stretching.
Okay.
Because combat was a tight spot.
Oh yeah, you have
you
have a sore neck.
Yeah. I'm kind of checking out what like the change of the landscape, considering like the tavern was demolished and is now outside. And
as you step out, you notice that the tavern is no longer an ashy set of broken down pieces of wood. What seems to be stone tiling and path and pavement leads from your from the door that you've just approached from, leading pretty much all across the Hawk's Nest. It's only been a week, and yet there seems to be work constantly being done. Now that the Imperials have moved in and taken over this this outpost, you no longer have to rely on simple workmen or a giant or a mute giant to do any of the land clearing. The mess hall seems to be 2 fire pits that are set out, and a tavern is raised where the old quartermaster building was. In case of rain. The command center is now essentially a building that is kind of a mixture of a debriefing room and many small bunks for soldiers or militia. The quartermaster's hut has now become linked and joined up with the actual blacksmith, as you have two the good old quartermaster Fix-It smiling and staring over, giving you a slight wave as if she's good to see you, as a remnant of the old world that has now kind of dissolved.
I'll wave back to her, but do I also see my party? Are we coming out of the same buildings? Are we?
I will say that for. Does anyone want to come out at the same time? I guess we could kind of maybe do that. I tell you what, put yourselves where you think you would come out, where you're raising out, because you literally all came out of like the barracks, except for Othak and Derek, who were literally held.
Sorry,
the barracks are the two buildings.
The barracks
we're all
is
standing in front of right now.
The barracks is literally where Nathaniel's thing is, basically.
Is this where you live, Derek?
It's the big old building. Yeah.
Yep.
Right next to the grave.
Nathaniel?
Right here.
Panic, do you mind doing a light?
Well,
Yeah, I can do a light. So
Can you do a
neighborhood is quiet.
Okay.
this building here is where like the little makeshift cells have been and little dormitory like thingies are. This is Derek's house here, right?
Yeah, there. Cool.
Our house.
I mean, if everybody's coming out at the same time, Bandad's kind of gonna walk up to like check on everybody, see how everybody's doing, and kind of maybe like talking to Shay, just kind of like. Do we see Greyhawks around or no?
You see a couple of Greyhawks. They are sitting at the mess hall, almost like kneeling. Well, not kneeling. Sorry. Like leaning on their arms, just staring off, like barely touching their food. You can see in the mess hall area, Lord Greyhawk and several new visitors seem to be like just taking up seats. Some of them more overjoyed than others. Some rather just lacking any energy despite it being the early morning. Not even tired, as if they've been awake for days, but just there's no life to their, their sudden way of life suddenly being taken from them. And essentially their home being, well, invaded
and taken. Yeah. Argyle, I can't believe we lost.
Not to mention how Lord Greyhawk's got to feel after the whole "my wife's going to prison" thing.
It's a sister.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's brother and sister.
Let's hope they're not married.
Okay.
Listen, the Empire. We're not adding incest to our imperial city.
The Empire giveth and the Empire taketh away.
New patch dropped.
No, I'm not. All right.
What were you asking, Shay?
Shay mentioned, because you mentioned that you were walking, like, kind of chatting with him. Shay's mentioning that she can't believe we lost our ranks.
We had ranks?
First time?
Oh yeah, you were already an armsman.
To be
but I would
scripted into the army.
Pandad would be asking Shay kind of too, like, what's going on with the Greyhawks now? Like, they didn't say anything about it. Why are all these Empire here? Did they talk to you guys about it?
We're being absorbed by the Empire. Lady Greyhawk and I think both Lord Greyhawk too. I think neither of them are in power here any longer. So we're being absorbed and kind of rebranded, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of all the soldiers. They may be shipped back to Murkwatch. I wasn't told. Because I'm an armsman now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you were locked up for a week. Hope you guys are okay in there.
Yeah, we were... Benenith and I were cooped up together in a decently sized bedroom.
Yeah, get that in there. Fucking. We got cookies and tea.
Over my shoulder. Just like pulling at his shoulder.
What's wrong with your arm? You look like you were cramped up in a small room.
It's like a closet again.
Why do they keep putting you in closets? It's almost.
I don't know. Where's
It's
Derek?
closet-shaped.
You're not. Never mind.
Speaking of
Wait,
closets, where's Derek?
Where's Derek? Was he in? Was he with us? Where is he again?
I haven't seen or heard from Derek in a while. Maybe he's, I don't know, being interrogated by Portella still. She seems like a angry lady sometimes.
Oh, okay. Rude, but okay.
I mean, with a couple phone calls that Shay has overheard from Derek and Portella, Portella seems like she is usually very tired of Derek's shit.
Medic, say no.
Well,
Please.
What the fuck, medic?
You said Meg.
you as the morning hits the door, hits you guys, and you all emerge from this makeshift stockade, I guess. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk to with your arising, party members?
Before leaving Derek's house,
Okay.
I would like to draw my new sword
Okay.
and swing it around. Get a
Not
feel
inside the
for it.
house.
Okay.
Yes, inside the house.
Inside the.
I'm waking up. I'm gonna brush the minis off my cheek.
Okay.
And
The minis. Okay. Yeah. They're actually tokens, but that's okay.
whatever. I'm gonna put Doom. Doom
He has a premium edition medic. He has
Oh, the
minis.
pretty. Okay, shit. I didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. He got it from Portella. Gonna wipe the tokens off my cheek and just remembering that we're free to go. So just I'm gonna draw my sword, wave it around.
Burn half the building down.
Does the flame turn on right as soon as I unsheath it?
As soon as you pull the hilt from the sheath, it burns like almost as if you pulled it slowly. You feel like you would actually burn your hand.
Ooh.
It's got such an intense heat, which is why you figured, like, in that moment where your palm feels like it's slowly boiling the water inside your skin or scales, you quickly pull it harder and then poof, lights up. Suddenly,
Look at this.
like a large engulfing flame, like almost like touches the roof of the building, only then to suddenly simmer down slightly as it takes a more concentrated red glow.
Just gonna nudge him with my foot. Derek, wake up. Look at this.
What? Did you
Your house is on fire.
I'm just gonna wave it like a fire dancer.
As
Put it down.
as you see him doing this, smoke just seems to form over it, and it coats the lining of your walls,
Oh,
ruining your curtains.
Look, you can blow on it. Nothing happens, Derek.
Get out,
It doesn't go out. Yeah.
Get out. Get out.
Right.
Your collector's edition of Gloomhaven is got like the rulebook there's a big handprint of suit all across the front of it.
I'll leave.
You know how much
Be
that
thankful
cost
that
me?
No.
He spent a week inside without doing that. Be thankful.
He did get more time than everyone else would, so.
The spiders are back.
Anyways, it's a cool sword and all, but it's a bit clunky. I'm gonna go see Ken. Maybe he can do something about this.
Do whatever you want. Just don't leave that thing here.
And I'll keep swinging it as I
Just
leave.
as you leave. Okay, right.
Taking swings left and right.
You see, as you come down the road, you notice two guards literally staring at you. Then they turn to you, pulling their swords, and then basically almost presenting it as looking at you with stern eyes. Put that away, Arpy.
Huh?
You violated the law, criminal.
No.
What law? I've got a sword. You got a sword. I'm going to Ken.
Watch yourself, lizard.
You can hear it from inside the house. Just lock him up. He ruined everything.
I'm gonna go join the gang.
Okay, right, fair enough.
It was terrible.
What's he gonna do for the next month, right? He's just gonna be cleaning his house.
Yeah.
Oh, Optak, how was your week? Wait, where were you kept? You coming from that?
I was terrible, Shay. There was books and pillows everywhere.
Books and
pillows. What?
You were there? House?
Yeah. For a week. Couldn't even go outside. Had to shit in the corner.
Oh no!
No, there is an extra day. Okay, no.
Wait, hold on. You shit in the corner?
Oh, roll up.
Shit in the corner. I sleep in the middle. I'm not gonna shit in the middle.
Derek, roll a perception check to see if you find.
I've hit it. He's not gonna find it anytime soon.
Which floor? Which floor?
Disadvantage.
No.
Goes into the library, shits in there, and uses the books as toilet paper.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You know, it has been a week. He didn't shit for a day in a week.
No, that's true. You're not. You're right. We're going with idea funny, very funny idea. All right. Okay. So, as Othek joins the party,
he's cleaning. He's not going to join us anytime soon.
Portella's gonna be even angrier because he's not gonna show up when he's. So, we'll do Derek. Unfortunately, you spend most of the next hour airing out your house, thanks to some ungrateful, lizard man who
I'm very grateful.
You thought might have some sort of, I don't know, connection to your you're a very hospital guy, you literally have.
I was to become racist.
Lizard men, they're on the list.
It's a long list.
All right. In that moment, you see Hamish literally coming up and going, ugh. as he comes up the stairs and he sees you airing out your sheets and you're Portella says I'm supposed to come and help you. Ugh.
After Othek's gone.
Yeah. Like you're taking too long. We're supposed to do stuff for you.
After dealing with shit all day, now I have a little shit here. Okay.
Listen, I don't like it either. I'm just supposed. Listen, I'm not going to touch your stuff, right?
Oh, you better not.
He's putting his hands on your windows as you're looking away from him.
I take my broom and just push him off.
Okay. Like, what the hell? All right, fine. Listen, give it here. Like he tries to grab the broom from you.
Okay, strength check. I don't care.
I don't care. I will fight the 12-year-old.
I will fight him. Okay.
Hamish does talk about himself in the third person, right?
That's by the way, that's 11. So it's almost like a pathetic slap fight. Because he's got a -2 to his strength. So it's what do you do? Just give me the bloody broom.
Wizards, everyone.
He takes the broom and goes, listen, the Portella's deadly serious, right? And I get it, listen, right? It's been a week. Sorry? He genuinely seems almost kind of and then at that moment he turns to you and goes, I'm glad you're not dead. And he runs up and he just gives you a quick hug and then runs inside.
Wait, inside my place? My
home? Yeah, he runs inside your house. You hear him slightly start to broom away.
No, he's gonna shit on your other pillow.
I want it clean by the time I return.
Yeah? And
if I see any more books missing...
Oh, is this Gloomhaven? Oh, I love this game.
Don't touch the minis with your hands, okay?
Oh, did you paint these?
It was Gloomhaven.
Hey, put some gloves on.
Right, fine. He almost like rolling his eyes as he goes off to the corner and starts like brooming up some of the tokens that have scattered to the floor.
Hey, careful with these. Okay, I grab my staff and my cape too, and go to see Portella.
Okay. As you make your way through town, you are met with a very different attitude in the establishment. There are faces literally like lighting up, almost looking towards you as you come down, as you are pretty much overdressed for most of these people. As you're heading to the
as I walk by, do I see the rest? I mean, some of the group.
I'd say yes. You see them emerging from the area. They're probably like wandering around. Like a lot of them are probably hanging about in the mess area. It all depends on who says they are there or not, I guess.
What if I meet any one of them? I will just wave at them while I move to Portella.
You notice Portella literally sitting on a small stool. Across from her is Carol, the Sunbringer, one of the Imperial Five. She seems to be almost having a rather never mind. Charming conversation. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. She's having a conversation with this hero that you have probably read a few stories about. Carol's not one of your favorites, if I remember.
No, she was.
She was one of them. She was one of your favorite. Okay,
She's the magic one.
She is. Yeah, but she okay, right. So she is your favorite. Okay, sorry. Just to reline that. So, two of your most favorite people, I guess, literally sitting in front of them, chatting, and as you come closer, they seem to be like almost like in a heated debate.
Well, listen to me, okay? I don't understand. The fact that you, as a tiefling... Oh, hello. Eric.
Hi,
finally.
I had to clean up some mess that, someone left inside my house.
I see. Well...
Sorry for the delay.
Oh, no worries. It's good to see that you are alive and well. I've been having a chat with my friend here. Do you know who this is?
Well, of course, Carol. Yeah. I heard so much about you. I mean, it's an honor to meet you.
It is an honor to meet you. Yes, you held yourself very well in the pit.
Wait, you saw us?
Yes, of course. My eyes are always watching.
And you didn't help? You fucking bastard.
We were holding back the large creature.
What was his name?
Tarkuno.
Tarkuno, yeah.
That beast, we killed it 3 times. Each time it came back stronger.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, hopefully none of you were harmed, right? I mean, were too...
No, fortunately, we were lucky in fighting that thing. I took some damage, let us say, but it is not my place to complain.
You have any more business here inside in Murkwatch? I mean, the Hawk's Nest?
Well, unfortunately,
Portella interrupts,
literally looking at you going, as you can see, the Greyhawks are no longer under, any reputable command of this outpost, which means that we are now essentially mercenaries.
As Carol looks over, almost not surprised, she then stares up at you and goes, I am sorry, but the Empire has its ways of gobbling up what little power-hungry structures they have of those less fortunate.
And, well, I can only imagine what is happening back home.
For now, the last time I remember visiting the imperial city of Tragos, it was quaint and happy, at least for your human kind. Yeah, I get it. Tieflings have it hard. Anyway, Portella leans forward in her chair.
I'm shocked.
I believe something rather interesting. Take a seat. And she basically like kind of moves a mage arcane hand to like shift the chair behind you and like pull you into the seat. As a set of as essentially an enchanted teapot raises itself up from the table in front of you and pours yourself a nice cup of hot steaming tea. As you are very familiar with, like, Portella enjoys her treats. Probably like one of the things that you remember as a boy under her service. So, are you ready for this? This is rather interesting, Mr. Derek. I believe we found something rather, well, compelling for our experiments.
Oh, please tell me more.
When you left the orb with me, well, technically you left it in the house, but I had a moment to glance myself over it and run simple trace spells over it. I was beginning to see if I could exactly find out where said orb had come from on the Nexus. If you remember our experiment to try and find out where we were or where other fonts or mythals were on the continent.
Yeah.
Well, I believe I found a way to find the Hall of Doors.
Wait, what?
You see,
really,
my understanding was basically turned upside down upon hearing your little expedition down to the Fiendish Realm. As we both know, we could never find a way for the portals to connect.
Yes, that was our basic, first rule that
yes.
I found out.
So, that, and thank you to Miss Carol here, and your brave, understanding of fiendish magic when you explained pretty much, in your papers here, and she just pulls through like all the pieces of paper that you noticed that the Watcher was writing on from all the interrogations. She's literally got the information right in front of her, which she then just curls up and in her hand, which then almost like flashes away, like she's just like unsummoning the paper. Well, I believe I found a way to connect to it. But here's the thing. I don't think the Hall of Doors is an actual place. I think we've managed to find several facilities that belong to the elves and the dwarves, correct?
Yeah.
And yet we've never found anything that resembles the Hall of Doors. Even though we found runes, we found stories, we found books, and we've essentially found doors that lead nowhere. So, here is my thought, which has led to a little experiment, which I might need your help with. What if the Hall of Doors is an actual concept, and it's not an actual place? What if the reason Jadal couldn't find it was because he was no longer connected to that type of magic? It's the only thing that seems to make sense, given when you found the lair of Ardenaxon, and the way you described the switching from realms. What if the Hall of Doors is literally just on another plane that we can maybe connect to if we have some sort of anchor point? We have several anchor points, but we don't have one that connects to
the Hall of Doors.
The Hall of Doors. But if the concept of the Hall of Doors is it's not a real place, and it's perhaps just a door. My understanding is that the realm might, well, given your way your magic works, and a little bit of luck, she like kind of like squints at you. Perhaps we might be able to teleport to one of these locations.
That sounds so dangerous, but makes so much sense.
Now, this was my problem. She literally looks like over to Carol, who seems to be like nodding in agreement. Like, magic, which involves portals. This is what's Derek's main expertise would probably be in. Just because of the way he's been trained by Portella, who has been essentially assigned this for the last
half a century.
So my thought, and here is why I think it makes more sense. Jadal doesn't have as much reach on this island because he is now connected to the Fae plane.
Yes.
Which means he is not a part of this realm anymore, which means he can't use the Hall of Doors. So
us can get to him. I mean, us can get to the Hall of Doors, so we can get it only from this plane and not from other planes.
That's what I'm thinking. Because the only downside is it could lead you anywhere. It could lead you underground, it could lead you into the air, it could lead you to a different plane, it could literally lead you to Jadal's doorstep if I miscalculated.
Well, it did lead me to meet these guys.
So my thought is perhaps you gather your companions and we wait for the right moment, and
Is that what the altar is for?
Come, let me show you how it works. And she sits up and basically looks at Carol. Unless, of course, you wish to talk with Carol a little longer. And she basically just walks off towards the altar.
Well, I respectfully salute Carol and just follow Portella.
Okay. As you follow after her, Carol literally just nestles herself in her mug and continue. Sorry.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Carol, but I just need to know more about this before I come back here.
Yeah.
You see me here?
You could come and join and perhaps have a chat later tonight. After all, we are not on duty until the next mission is sent.
Great. Thank you. And I just will hurry up to catch up with Portella.
Okay. As you wander over towards the altar, we'll switch to anyone else who wants to go next. Anybody they want to talk to?
Yes. Go ahead. I was going to say, that came back just a while ago. I'm guessing we got set free of that.
Yes, we did. So, if there's anybody you want to talk to, or if you want to literally, have a little conversation with an NPC or gear up or whatever, you let me know. This is literally,
it's more like obviously seeing everyone's food, just giving nods, seeing happy that they're all okay. I'm going to head over to the clenched fists of Tyr to just have a catch up, find out what's been going on. Sorry.
As you approach, two of them are sparring. As the third, the one that you recognize, literally glances over to you. Ah, brother, you are alive.
Yes, it appears to take a lot to get rid of me. I've been taught well.
Yes, your master would be very proud. It is looking like the Empire will swallow this nest soon.
I was beginning to wonder why the Empire was around here. We're having a scan of the camp and seeing all the Imperial soldiers.
Is about time. I have been writing reports back home for the last month. And finally, the mention of fiends is what stirs the nest of home.
So you have been informing the Imperials of what has been going on in this land.
This is what I would like to say. The unfortunate misinformation of this leader of this camp. I do not trust this Nathaniel. I never have.
You say no trust, but yet you have not given this group a chance to prove themselves. They have, yes, had some problems, but they have overcome them. The ones that I follow, and point to the few rounds, have more than proven themselves far stronger than even I know of, and many have a far stronger belief in Tyr.
Belief in Tyr is not enough sometimes. You must be willing to make sacrifices in his name and against it.
And that is where we both differ. I believe Tyr protects all, and we are here to protect all. Sacrificing those who require assistance is, I feel, not the way.
You have grown dull.
I like to think I have grown wiser in my travels.
Perhaps you have... Sorry, but continue.
Coming here has broadened my horizons, letting me see much more of the world and how others see the world. From just not only from within the walls of the monastery.
Perhaps it is time that you return home.
And why would I return home?
Well, soon the Empire will not have need of your skills.
The Empire may not require my skills, but my compatriots that I am with, I feel that we work best together.
Well, perhaps we will have a spar later tonight. See how much softer you have got. He seems very antagonistic against you, but you know this is usually the case. I don't know if you've always seen him as a rival, but he's always seemed like very antagonistic against. Just because of your teachings and, the overall animosity that is kind of presented by his, teaching methods, which you are very familiar with.
Yeah. I'll just sort of turn to go as I kind of go. He's like, if the evening requires some sport, I'm more than willing to spar.
All right.
I'll just basically head off back towards sort of the group head towards sort of Nathaniel, and I'll let someone else have a go.
Okay. Who wants to go?
Shay was going to speak with Nathaniel and possibly go do some other things afterwards with re-gearing for potions and whatnot.
Okay. Well, we can do the role playing bit first, I guess, if you want, and then we can do the potioning and stuff as
that was just
as it goes fit. That's fine. All right. Okay. As you approach your good old CO, your commander in chief, he seems to be almost like kind of just angry as he stares off towards this figure who's looking off towards the lake.
I guess our pond.
You have no right to do this. I was given imperial command here. Yes, of course, Nathaniel. But I will have you say that my brother has not sent me here for the fact that I like sightseeing. As this woman turns around, she's wearing a faint crown around her head. She's basically coated in what looks like soft silks, as her dress has golden linings around her shoulders, and clearly someone of a higher upbringing, as she looks and sees this half-orc. Are you in your armor, or are you still in your civvies?
Shay was, yeah, Shay's still in her civvies.
Okay. As she sees you approach, you almost look peasant-like, I guess, considering it. And she goes,
decent clothing.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, yeah, but still peasant-like.
It's
Still peasant-like.
Compared to her, it's kind of bummish.
As you notice, she gives you a stare and almost like a confusion. As the woman takes a moment and glances over her shoulder, looking
Does Shay by chance recognize her at all? Is this someone that she would know?
How close are you to the Imperial City? From where Shay is originally? Are you aware of the Imperial family?
She probably wouldn't recognize any of them.
You know the main honchos, but yet you might not know the underlings.
Yeah, she would probably know the king or the emperor and
the emperor,
maybe his direct heir. But as for others, she wouldn't know many of them.
I'd say that maybe if you knew her, it would be by probably reputation alone.
You know what? 10 and under, Shay doesn't know her.
You don't recognize her.
Shay recognizes that she has authority because she's got the crown.
Yep. You notice that this gruffy old mage scholar standing next to her looks up, glancing down at the paper, and then seems to read an incantation as the paper glows in front of him. Ah, Shay Odor. I see. He approaches you, literally hands you the contract, and says, I wish to sign this.
Shay, looking down at the contract, is gonna start to read over it, very confused.
It's the contract that you signed originally when you came here.
Why are you having me re-sign the same contract?
Updated terms of service. You don't need to read the terms of service.
Shay's going down the terms of service. Shay's trying to read the super small fine print.
It basically says the same thing as the first one does. Serve the Empire, become an Imperial soldier. You are basically in servitude to the Empire, and
is it really just a change of flavor text?
It's literally the same contract. Besides, it no longer says under service of Lady Greyhawk, but under service of Callista, the Imperial heir, I guess. I would also like Remus and anyone else nearby. Who's nearby?
I would be nearby. I was heading towards the blacksmith.
Okay, give me perception checks. Active perception checks, actually.
We need active perception checks?
Yeah, active perception checks. So if you're not looking, or if you're just paying attention to what's in front of you, don't bother rolling. But if you're literally scaring your eyes around, okay, Shay doesn't notice shit. She's too busy. You're panicking, literally reading the terms of service.
No, it's because I'm stuck reading a fucking long ass contract trying to figure shit out. Yeah, no, the oxygen, it exists.
We're not the 20th and that one now.
No, it's the 19th.
No.
But one more and Nox gets a free 20.
Wait, hold on, I thought that was 20.
Nope.
Whoa. You're not there yet, buddy. Oh, I know that.
No. First. Great, I love when that happens. Right. Okay. If this... Yep. Oh, there we go. Yep. Good.
My first one of the season.
It's okay, don't worry. I literally just had a connection problem, so we'll have to do it without Tailspire at the moment.
as you look over the contract, the wizard seems like impatient with you.
He can be as impatient as he wants. I'm reading.
Okay, so you take a moment.
It takes a moment. Go ahead.
Nathaniel literally turns around and then looks at you, looks at all three of you, going, I see you're finally let loose.
Indeed we are. Are you still... What was Nathaniel before? Commander?
He was basically your commander-in-chief. He is now, from you can see, armsman.
I see you've been stripped of your rank as well.
Unfortunately, none of the other, soldiers can be trusted. Thanks to, the employment of the Greyhawks.
I suppose that does make sense.
We're in a situation that unfortunately I have no real control over anymore.
Well, it would seem none of us do. However, perhaps that is for the best, considering Lady Greyhawk's alleged allegiances.
Aye, well, doesn't matter how desperate one person is. Unfortunately, that means we're all out of a job. Or at least we're not, but we're more expendable than before.
Shay's gonna, finish reading the contract, and, well, I'm not quite out of a job, as she says, as signing. I still have some employment, I suppose. And she hands the scroll back to the, rather impatient mage.
You didn't read about the kidney transplants.
The what?
It's alright, I'm just messing with you.
I need those.
He literally comes up to you and he gives you a pat on the shoulder. Aye, well, good luck, Sheodor. It's been a pleasure knowing you.
Are they, Nathaniel, are they shipping you out?
Just walks over to the mess hall. Takes a seat. So, you are Sheodor.
Yes, ma'am, and...
My name is Callista.
I'm sure it's a pleasure.
You're rather rugged, aren't you?
After being confined to a cell for a week, yes, I happen to be.
She almost sticks her nose in your area, giving it a deep breath. Yes. I can smell the adventure on you.
I mean, if you'd like to smell me a bit closer, you're more than welcome. However, I'd like a bit of wine before we dine.
Ha! Well, perhaps if you're lucky.
Well, I do like to think I can be lucky every now and then.
Kelvin, she turns to the mage. Have Sheodor come dine with us later. And the old man literally looks at you, his mustache twitching. Is there anything I can do for you, Sheodor? And your little companion here, as Ramas seems to run up.
Ramas. I was wondering about where our soldiers were going to be stationed. I know that there are issues with trust and knowing who or who may not be compromised. However, most of the soldiers from the Hawk's Nest, if it is still that name, know this region fairly well and still have great use here.
You don't need to worry yourself over such things. You will be, this little nest's bodyguards. I no longer require you for anything besides guard duty. After all, we have the infamous 5. They will be doing most of our excursions from now.
Of course. So does that leave us relegated to simple matters such as patrols and...
For the most part, yes. Until you can prove your worth again, unfortunately your reputation is seen as suspect, considering the Greyhawks in presence.
So due to our previous employer, we are all under review, if you will.
Yes, I would say so.
I believe that is somewhat understandable.
Considering we are giving you
the benefit of the doubt, we could not know which Greyhawk soldier is in line with that traitorous, well, harlot. So, given much review, we've managed to find a handful of you that are trustworthy, which is the only reason that you are standing before me. And she basically just leans forward again, almost getting like very close to you, not even like intimidated by your presence. And you're quite like a tall orc in comparison to this dainty lady.
She's a fairly tall lady, yeah. How much taller is Shay than her?
How tall is Shay?
I think Shay's like 6 something, like 6'10" or something.
Okay, she's about like almost 5'8".
Oh.
Yeah, so not by much, but she's definitely like not as intimidated as you'd think. There is a twinkle in her eye though that you just can't put why she's so.
I'd like to give a shot at insight if I can.
Go for it.
All right, let's see.
Ah, yes, a monk. Yes, of course. Your training and wisdom must do you quite well here. She looks at Ramas, giving off almost like a mocking smile.
That is 17 plus 7.
Okay. You could tell that her bravado is there for the sake that she knows that if you acted in a way that would mean her harm, you would die.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of guards around. And
like literally in that moment, but it's not like as you look around, you notice the nearest guard to you is literally like 15 feet from you. And she's like right in front of you, but she's not afraid.
There is also a funny mage.
Mm-hmm. The mage seems busy scrolling around with his papers. Something seems off. Fortunately, nobody made the perception check, so that's all you're getting.
Oh, she's got something funky going on. Okay.
Anyway, I hope you join me for dinner. I'm rather busy. Unfortunately, I have to realize that these, well, stranger creatures are rather, well, a nuisance to deal with.
These strange creatures you refer to, do you mean the bullywogs and other creatures that we've formerly made pacts and alliances with?
Yes, alliances will need review. Luckily, I will be able to have a conversation or two at some point.
I would suggest that most of those are honored and respected due to the help that they provide us in the region.
Well, perhaps if you do your business and perhaps talk to your allies and relay the information to the guards, we can perhaps, relay that information.
Of course,
Now go do you a job, and she shoos you away.
With being shooed away and her having a somewhat rude exposition, Shay's just going to kind of brush it off and go about her shit.
Okay. Ramas is also, like, literally the mage stops him going off and hands him the piece of paper. Almost like you're being forced to re-sign your paperwork. Let's see. Nox! Noxy.
I'm here.
Okay.
I have been standing.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So, no, fair enough. Right. Where are you? Which one are you? There you are.
I'm still standing in front of the thing.
I don't know where that is. You have Croaker attached.
In front of the Nathaniel thing.
Oh, okay.
I have a route planned.
Okay.
So,
all right, Nox.
Yeah. Upon exiting the confinement and glancing all over I guess over the changed landscape, the wide smile Nox maintained for a week almost, just with a small with a long sigh, like, okay, business must be done. with a small sigh, shudder, essentially the smile just droops. Nox blinks a couple of times and plans his specific route. First and foremost, I'm gonna go past Lord Greyhawk and the desk where Carol sits.
Okay.
Just to walk past him. Without approaching him directly, just passing by, going, apologies about your sister. We did all we could.
He glances to you, almost slurring his voice, like, what?
I will keep going. Just. I will give a friendly but tired smile and wave to the Monty and Antonio.
Okay. Yeah. They recognize you and give you a strange glance, and
yeah, as I pass the watcher, I will give him the shittiest of glances as I can, scratching the skin and scale flaps on my face. And I approach Nathaniel, asking, greetings, Commander. Are my quarters still my quarters, or do I have a new place to live?
Unfortunately, Nox, we're in a bit of a shit stir.
I can see.
I just look forward to new management.
It's the Empire. It never changes with them.
Well, let's just hope the next commander is somebody you can trust.
That's gonna be a tall order, Nathaniel. And I will approach Drekka and from the back. Do Drekka and Kagnet speak of anything? Are they not like engaged in a conversation at all?
you can tell as you approach this small, almost gecko-like dragonborn. Seems little like his. It almost gives you a reminder of you in your early days in Murkwatch, almost kobold in stature, as he leans forward in his drink. His clasping hands holding at a mug as he sits at the desk. Drekka sitting beside him. You can hear them almost mutter to each other as Drekka seems to be speaking quite loudly to this older dragon, this older dragonborn. Yes, I have been, doing the best I can. The older dragon literally goes, "What is it? Oh, yes." He leans forward and kind of like puts the clasping, he puts the tankard down and leans back in his chair, almost like kind of like stretching his spine as he glances to you. And it is another dragonborn.
Sorry for intruding. A word, cousin.
Yes, take your time.
He leans forward again and takes his glass as Drekka looks at you. Ah, yes. Now I am. She almost curbs her tongue for a moment and just then takes your lead.
Yeah. So, then we will just do basically pass Pandad. Yeah, just with a small slap on the back. While we're walking towards the, I suppose we're gonna pass the blacksmith. I wish to lead Drekka to the top of the tower, where my supposed quarters are still.
Yep. Okay.
Supposed to be essentially.
All right. We'll say for that, you guys start heading up there then.
Yeah, we're gonna be heading there. On the way there, I will put out a small whistle. Well, not small, but loud enough for Croker to approach the camp on top.
Okay, right.
On top of the thing. Give me a sec.
As you pull the whistle, it takes a moment, and there is no answer for the longest time. Then Drekka literally looks at you and goes, "What is this kind of trickery?"
It all will make sense in a bit. And yeah, we will be standing on the perch on top, so I would have a good view below on Panana's grow and the rest.
Okay. As you look down and Drekka stares, like looking, "Is this some kind of joke? You are always trying to pull one over on me. You think it is funny? I have come here to see that you are well. I've come here to see that the rumors I heard of you not dying are true, so I can bring them back home. You treat it like a joke."
And so will you, if you know what's better for the clan.
You notice that Croaker suddenly just comes climbing up the wall behind, almost then latching onto your neck. "Hey, what the hell's going on here?"
Welcome back, girl. Long time no see. Upon this, I will essentially just try to lay out the cards before Drekka, telling all about the.
Explaining.
Not really. I'm thinking about how to approach it, so we wouldn't waste a lot of time on this.
Let's say that like you would try to explain not necessarily the pact, but more of like, the connection.
Essentially, like first things first. The reason that it's better for me to stay dead.
Yeah.
For the family. Then Croaker will I will ask Croaker to quickly turn into the fiendish form.
Okay.
Go over the the details of the pact.
Okay.
The initiation, and then just go. I'm leaving it up to you, but consider this: a sorrow over the dead Nox will be much more manageable than the shame of the mishandling of the artifacts. What's best for the clan?
For once, I agree with you. Are you sure you can trust this fiend?
She stares at it like with intent, like almost like she was at one point thinking about just calling to the guards, but you're family. And at the end of the day, family is absolute when it comes to the Dragonborn.
Nox will place the hand on Croaker's head, just petting it almostly. Go. She took me out of a lot of she got me out of a lot of troubles. She's a benefit, if anything else.
Perhaps we can talk about this more tonight. I would like to hear some of your stories before I return home.
Hopefully that'll be a better evening than the last one I had here.
I would tell you.
I will point to the scars.
You have spent a long time here, cousin. I will tell you right now that the Draconic Council, the Council of Scales, has sent the emissary to find more on this dragon on this isle. And I cannot say for certain that the Draconics will, well, do best by this island.
There's someone I would like you to meet then. He has a book that you will find rather interesting.
Well, then take me to them.
And yeah, we will start heading down to the Penaneth.
As we do that, though, we will switch to Ruby. What is Ruby doing during this time of freedom?
Ruby has gone to her aunt since she saw her.
Okay. You approach your only living relative besides your brother.
She doesn't know her brother's alive, though.
No, she does. She was the one that told you.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if she did or not.
Yeah, this is why notes are important. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I know.
as you approach the scouts, you notice that they seem to be having some sort of argument. One of the original 5, Oscar, what's his name? God damn it, Oscar Brightshield. That's his name. Oscar Brightshield. He seems to be like almost staring at the Eld, who you recognize as Kedwin, and of course your aunt. She then basically approaches you, goes, child, it is good to see you. Oscar looks as you approach. Well, I will leave you to it. Perhaps you will share your information. Sorry, he's Australian, I keep forgetting. Sorry, mates. So, perhaps you'll share your information with me later tonight. Or perhaps you might want to talk to, I don't know, maybe this one. Good day, elf. He turns around and walks away. Almost kind of just, like, frustrated. You can see that Oscar, who is one of the almost calmest elite soldiers of the Empire, now kind of, annoyed by the conversation that he just had with Kedwin. As Uldara looks at you and says, I'm glad that you have checked in, but I don't know if it is a good thing to stay around here any longer.
And why is that, Auntie?
Are you not paying? The Empire has roared its fangs into this country, into this land. How are we supposed to find a new home for our people if the Empire owns it?
You do have a point.
I was talking to Kedwin, and he had some several points that I thought might be important to you and your friends. But perhaps it would be better if we talked with the group.
Okay.
As we know, you are very forgetful when I tell you things.
Yes.
Did you bang your head? She checks for any wounds or injuries.
Many, many times.
You have to learn to trust the wisdom in your parents. They got you here.
Yes, I understand.
Edwin then literally looks at you and goes, yes, it's rather important that we band together now more than ever. And he wanders off as Sin follows after. They end up going to the mess hall. Alright. Penny. You approach these 2 guards who seem to be guarding your grove.
Yeah, because I'm worried about Stuckit. I gotta start planning. I gotta find my quote-unquote brother or whatever he is. There's so much to do, but I was worried about Stuckit and the whole talk of getting rid of fiendish things, and I didn't know if they thought Stuckit would be that. So yeah, there's guards outside of my grove.
They don't seem to move or react. They just stare at you and go, you are the one they call Penenith.
Why? Is there a reason why you're here?
Your microphone is playing up, by the way, Bean. I don't know why. It's coming in and out.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's better.
Yep, I can. And it's better. It's better.
Okay. I'm stunned. I'm like, there's never been guards here before.
Nope.
So, okay, I can go to my.
They literally are. They just give you a look, and they don't move from their post as you move into your.
And then I see
row.
Stuckit.
Stuckit. Yep, Stuckit is standing there. Ah, yes, Master Penenith. It is good to see you. You can notice that his armor is almost chipped and has green moss surrounding it, as he's not been able to leave this grove for quite some time. It's probably been stationary, just sitting there, letting the nature take over.
Suck it, you okay? Did those guys, did they hurt you? Are you okay? I think I'm gonna need your help. We found somebody that felt like me, but little and different.
This creature, yes. It has the taint of fate. It's right there. He basically presents the creature, which is now no longer encased in crystal, but is twisted in vines and green leaves as they seem to like almost breathe in the wind.
And then I see Taria's here. I'm like, she's the druid. The
yes.
head of the druid circle, right?
She's literally the druid circle that's been helping you set your druid circle for the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Yes,
Tria, we found this boy, but he felt not done yet, and I really felt like if we did a ritual, if we did like a plant growth, because he feels like similar magic to me. I think we can bring him. Wake him
I'm
up.
not sure that it will work, but we can at least try, Benedict. The problem is this magic. It is not allowed. It's not supposed to work with fiendish beings.
Fiendish? What do you mean fiendish?
This, from my understanding, you pulled from the pit of Arthur Nixon.
Well, yeah. It was like he was trying to do.
He was using
magic,
humans.
but
Well, he was using souls to create some sort of vessel.
Oh.
Should we even try?
But he's just.
I understand. You feel some nurturing in the thing, but like I said, we are trying to create new types of, well, understandings of this magic that you own, that you have I am willing to...
Maybe we can fix it, overwrite it? Doesn't he deserve a chance? He deserves a chance.
I say we should try the ritual, but I do not think it is much hope. He is unfinished. What would you like to do, Kenneth? You have two people who are literally willing to help you in your ritual.
Yeah, so we're gonna gather around him, and I'm gonna do that ritual of, I'm gonna like kind of say a prayer to Newdarth, like if you're there again, hey, need your help if this is meant to be, and yeah, we'll gather around this thing, this. And I'm gonna just channel in thinking like cocoon, and I'm just gonna pour all of that emotion that I have right into this magic, and I'll cast as a ritual, so probably take a little while and stuff like that, and
it'll take a while for the necessary things to take part, but you spend the next couple of hours setting it up, making sure that everything's right as the day continues on. Once it gets to a point, give me a nature check, I guess. Give me a nature check real quick, just for that.
Nature check. Okay, here we go. Not a nat 1.
Not a nat 1 would help. And that's going to change the entire evening, and I don't have time for that.
14.
All right. So,
Not great, but...
Do you take, let's just say for the ritual taking place, you end up basically channeling your time. Stuckit ends up kind of like just following in the same motions, trying to follow you. After about 1 hour, 2 hours in, you notice that Taria is getting tired. As she's like, starts to like, they'll try and hold on as long as you and try to hang on as long as Stuckit, but she does not have as much endurance as the two of you. Being an older tabaxi, she's almost just like, I am trying to hold. As this channeling magic seems to take effect and basically nurture this cocoon that you've created. Overall, it doesn't seem that there's much there. Nothing seems to have changed much. But you do feel
that you have made some impact. You just don't know what that is. You've sealed the crack in what could be this being, but you're still unaware. Like, think of it as a vessel, right? Think of it as a vessel. You put the lid on it.
Could I, so knowing that Penny also has, you know, healing fire, but if this is fiendish, would it hurt him? Would I know that?
Well, let's just say that you know that it works the same way as your magic works, and this with the wild growth spell that you've been casting on it, you probably it would probably have no effect. At the moment, what you know right now is that there is a vessel in front of you, but it has no soul.
Oh.
And we'll say after 2 hours, you are you almost succumb to your I
have an idea.
Your exhaustion. Okay.
So Stuckit is been banned from camp.
No, Stuckit's he's allowed to, but he's stayed here because he doesn't have any needs to. Remember, Stuckit isn't a human. He doesn't need to go and get food or anything. He just he literally is plant life.
Right. So there's no soul. I'm just gonna look at Stuckit and be like, I don't think it's working. I don't feel anything inside of him. But if you wanted that sounds creepy.
I don't think
Stuckit take over. Could take over, or another.
The problem with that, young Penny, is, well, if I was to leave this body, it would kill Bucket.
Oh, Bucket was already gone.
But there are fragments, messages, words of a wise stable boy. I think I would be doing his sacrifice a disservice. Perhaps this vessel needs time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He should rest. Perhaps you should return to the mess hall and seek guidance with your friends. I shall take care of Taria, as she seems to almost collapse.
Well, I'll help. I'll get her to the bed and get her to rest. And sure, I guess at this point, I feel like that's all I can do, and I'll go to get some food. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So overall,
Thanks, guys, for keeping my grove safe.
He's just been sitting there the whole time. You can see the sunlight where he's literally just been standing in the shade. All right, Panda.
Hello.
What is Panda doing?
I've gone to the mess hall.
Okay.
First off, Panda's getting a beer, and
of course,
also looking at all the food and seeing what there is, because it's been a week. It's been a rough week without beer.
Yeah.
Go around doing that. Is Nathaniel was over by Shay?
Nathaniel is now sitting over here by
okay.
Let's just say during the evening, he's literally been moving around from he's basically been getting a drink and just kind of sulking at his new posting.
Got it. After checking out the food and getting a beer, he would have gone over to Nathaniel to check in with him and see how things are going and kind of ask about what's going on with the Greyhawks, basically.
Okay.
Locked up for a week, kind of figure out what the lowdown is.
So you kind of get the understanding that, literally, yet again, kind of just repeating, what's been told to Shay and such like that. It's your posting has been stuck. It's been removed, and you're now basically over leveled guards for the Hawk's Nest.
How do we get our money?
You'll get paid. You just have to not sign the contract.
Oh, don't sign the contract.
Okay. Yes, but then you'll be shipped home. So I mean, at this point, he basically he looks at you and says, "I'm getting paid to go home." Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're leaving?
I'll be leaving. Yes, on the next boat.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Seems like most of the Greyhawks have left at this point. Looking around, seeing like there's not much left.
He glances over and literally says, "Come with me," and he kind of takes you over to the Lord Greyhawk, who's sitting over here. Nathaniel then sits down beside him and pulls up a chair as they all nestle their beers in their hands.
I'll cheers them too.
You know, as soon as you sit down, literally, Lord Greyhawk stares up at you. Did you know? Myself and my sister are bastards. He's clearly, slurring his words as he looks up at you. We had a connection to the throne, but unfortunately, without proof, it's as much as hearsay. My sister is imprisoned for treason and being held until she's transported home, and we have lost all our authority from the Empire, and our funds have been sequestered, along with what little property we have. I am no longer a lord. The elves, who I have been chums with for months, can no longer look at me. My life is in shambles, even though I was not the one to cast the first stone. My true crime, however, is negligence of my sister, and being unable to protect her in the ways that I thought could, like any brother should. I feel that this is perhaps a worthy punishment. And he just takes his drink and he just downs it and just clacks it on the table.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your sister's taken such a route. Did you notice any of this while she was making deals with fiends, it seems?
I
mean, it's a surprise to me, as it probably is to you.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. He just stares off down into his mug. Nathaniel then pats him on the shoulder and gives him almost like a hearty kind of yeah, it's okay, buddy. And then he looks up at him and says, I will be joining I will be joining Ethan and his sister on the way home, taking the nearest transport, and we will be leaving for Murkwatch. And, well, perhaps we will see you again, Pandad, or Argyle, as I should call you. It's been a wonderful time, despite, near-death experiences.
Yeah, I wish you safe travels, and maybe see you back on the mainland someday. Seems we still got some business to do here.
You're visiting the capital. Perhaps you can look me up.
I'll come find you.
And I've been friends with the Greyhawks for quite some time. It would be nice to, well, depending on what happens when they reach the capital. He then, it's basically just, they end up just, refilling their glasses and spending, the rest of the evening just kind of, drowning out their sorrows.
I probably hang out with them for a while. I mean, Nathaniel's my close friend and worked under Lord Greyhawk for a while. Pandad hasn't drank in a week, so...
Yeah, okay. All right. Othak, you feel a pat on your shoulder as the elf, who is almost your shadow, appears.
Oh, Catwin.
Othak, it's good to see you. I'm glad you survived that ordeal.
I would like to have a little chat with you, if you hope you don't mind.
Othek's gonna look over his soldier. Oh, his soldier? His shoulder? Yeah, I found this soldier. He's gonna look over his shoulder towards the blacksmith, like... yeah.
We can have a chat while you see your blacksmith. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's just there's only one person I would trust, and you're probably going to give the information to somebody who needs it rather than, well, these imperial dogs. You can see that there's a lot of distrust in this elvish man, considering he's from the same continent as you. I'd like to tell you, considering the threats that the Empire has made against my people, and I am still technically hired by these, new leaders, I still feel like it is important to tell you that the pirates and the brigands are moving north. A lot of them. Giants have been seen in the mountain passes. And of course, more of those goddamn Sown cultists are rearing their heads. But every time my platoon spots them, they seem to go back into hiding. I don't know what that means. But the last time it happened, well, we ended up with a whole encampment burnt down to the ground. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but there are some lizard men here. Do you recognize any of them?
Do I?
You recognize one of them, yes.
Which one? Boss?
Scrag.
Scrag.
Scrage. Scrage? Scrag. Scrage? Scrag. Scrag. Scrag.
Greg.
You recognize Scrag. Who is your older brother?
The wee one is my brother.
He's also a better hunter than you.
No.
In the clan.
No.
Unfortunately, he is. Like, no. It's been proven. He's got a big skull on his front porch and everything.
Well, he's a show off. That's what he is.
Yeah, he has a bigger skull than yours.
It's not about... Well, it's all about the size.
It's all about the size. Oh no, I'm a hypocrite.
It's not about the size of his skull, but how I'm going to break it when I get back home.
Right. Well, he literally gives you a pat on the shoulder. Anyway, not that you would like to know that. Share the information with your compatriots, but
just yell out. All right, we need to move north. There's the pirate. No, I'm not gonna do that.
What is that? What?
What? Pirates? Oh, I've never.
So, just be careful around here. The Empire has its ears everywhere, and
there.
Unfortunately, I'm going to return to my home and see what I can about, well, sending some elf support north. Hopefully, we have time to act. It has, as I said, it's been weeks, so we'll be playing catch-up.
Yeah, well, I've been, held up these past few weeks, so thank you for sharing that information, and, I will, I'll go look at it.
All right.
When as soon as I can.
He takes his leave and heads off towards the thing, considering that's all he really needs to tell you. You and Kedwin have a very much matter-of-fact relationship. He tells you things, you tell him things, and then you move on.
Yeah,
you're like
very professional.
Maybe once every so often you might hunt the same monster, like golf, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, as you go and get your equipment sorted, you notice the blacksmith working away. Yeah, there we go. So, as you do, you notice the guy turning around going, "Oh, hello there! Oh!" Runs over, like pushes Fix-It out of the way. Like, Oh, is that a flaming sword? Oh,
It is.
bloody hell.
Well,
Did you-
yeah.
Did you pull it from a fiend's anus?
No, I got it from Pennineth.
Oh.
Anyways, Ken, it's a bit heavy. The balance is all wrong.
I mean, I could have the blacksmith look at it, I guess, if you... This is enchanted, though.
I owe you one.
I can maybe talk to the blacksmith and maybe figure something out.
Thank you.
Leave it with me, and I'll catch you, well, when I figure something out.
On the flip side.
Yeah. See you later, brother.
Wait, Fix-It's not freaked out by the lizard man, but Fix-It is like freaked out by Penny Lizard Boy, like Drago Boy. Okay,
Actually,
fine.
remember, Fix-It. The problem is that this is a lizard man. Pennineth was a boy and then a man. Have you seen the TV series? Have you seen the Tom Hanks movie Big? I think the woman has a right to be freaked out.
I wonder if she'll go for like I wonder if she'll go for like the prison-hardened Penny. Maybe she looks.
She might. Well, like I said, Fix-It has always been like kind of like wary, and you know she's more of like a matter of fact kind of person. So you know, like literally, like sudden changes scare her. Also, she was in a fired building last time you saw her.
Last time I was saving her.
Well, yeah, but
Saved her
there we
life.
go. All right.
Yeah, not last time Pennineth flirted with her.
Eric.
We're not talking about the last time Pennineth flirted with her.
Yes.
No, we're
Right.
not. No.
As you
also.
Okay. As you approach the structure, you can see very similar rocks, ruins, glyphs that are been carved into the rock. You notice immediately that this is basically built on the same structure as one of the earlier ruins that you had teleported inside to meet the party members. So, you noticed something? Portella basically taps the rocks.
Did you just took the whole place and put it here?
I moved a part of it.
And does it still work?
Well, I was going to test it on a cat, but Sin said that was inhuman because it was technically her. So, like I said, yeah. What? You would do the same. she's almost like trying to stare at you back, but yet again, since she's like a 3-foot gnome.
I mean, instead of a cat, we have another thing looking like a cat and more annoying.
Okay, first of all, you leave Hamish alone. He's had a rough time. You know what? He was worried the whole week. He thought you were a traitor to the Empire. You gotta give that boy a little slack.
Oh, that would have made him... Okay, if I was executed by the Imperials, he would have made a holiday out of it.
Well,
I mean, I would.
he almost had the same upbringing as you, all right? You'd think you might, like, get or understand the boy. So, anyway, moving on besides your personal differences with a young boy.
Wait, he's young?
He's 12.
And?
She basically approaches the font and she looks down and looks.
As you see, do you see this?
And she points to one of the components, which is the repaired bowl that was present.
Repaired.
Yes. Well, considering I figured our master craftsman over there, she points to the large mute giant that you're familiar with, he was able to use some of the, well, components that we had managed to wrangle from the mines that you had visited, and managed to make, well, hopefully it works. I assume it's the same type of mineral.
She gives it a big, like a stern kick as it seems to like glow and make a humming, almost like a burring noise, like a generator almost piling up.
So the idea is you stand in there and it works.
I look around. Like right now?
I don't recommend that. She's almost like about to like. I think also this will be a one-way trip. You will have to find your way back home. So
I'll put one foot near the pedestal.
as you do, she literally gives your foot a firm smack.
God, I thought you said she was gonna push her. I thought you were gonna have her push him in.
This is a great way to separate the party.
Roll for damage.
So no, she literally like looks at you and goes, "I am not kidding. This could be a one-way trip, and I will not be able to come and get you."
But it's still in the same plane, right?
I don't know. I'm hoping. Yes. This is all hypothetical. But this is the only.
Well, have you tried sending a pearl like yours over there?
It doesn't work with objects, unfortunately.
Object.
There needs to be a host. There needs to be a connection to the plane. Objects don't work. It was one of the first things we tried. Which is why I suggested a cat. She looks at the chickens.
Or
and then she goes,
I mean, sending it there is nice, but how can we know that it survived or where it landed?
yeah, use logic. Ugh. She just rolls her eyes as if Carol literally mentioned that.
Honestly, if you didn't stop me, I would have stepped in, but...
Like I said, I think this has a way of connecting to, well, I'm hoping, one of the fonts that we might have access to that could hopefully find a way through the mountains and to the north, where this supposed Snow White character is.
Only me can get in?
I think for the most part, it works on most humanoids. And I say this because she leans in, like almost like pulling you down.
Mm-hmm.
I may have summoned some undead and put them through. But when they reach the other end, well, unfortunately the range of my magic is not that great. So it works on them, I just don't know where it comes out. And unfortunately the Empire is not allowing, well, any unknown magic that is using fiendish tech. And since technically the only person who knows it's fiendish tech is, well, the big old bitch over there, and like you can assume you could assume she's talking about the Emperor's sister.
I mean, you're not wrong.
My point is that I feel, considering our options are becoming more limited the more time we spend here, you gather your team and you do it. Or we just try to find our way north.
I know someone who would be ready to step in, like, without asking questions. I just need to tell him there is a big monster over there.
Ah, yes. Well, considering what I've heard from Kedwin, that region's filled with giants. So,
Okay, at least I have one person sold. I know that some people lost their jobs, so I think they would be willing to...
Like I said, this is an Imperial base now. I don't think it really belongs to us anymore.
Why did you put it here, then?
Well, that's the problem. I wasn't allowed to construct it back home. Murkwatch is even worse than this.
How about we make we let them keep a fake copy of it, and transport it somewhere else, where we can put our own encampment and base, and discover more about the Hall of Doors, and much more.
This is part of the reason why, if we can figure out if this works, that's precisely what my thought was. We can then create these and essentially form our own network, our own nexus. We don't have to attach it to the original old network that belonged to the elves. Problem is the Empire. And I work for them, but I don't tell them everything.
I kind of figured.
Have a think about it. I need you to go and convince the rest. Anyway, I'm gonna go play nice. She wanders off.
Well, shit me.
All right, let's just say after your evening of wrangling, you know what, Nox, you're probably meeting Penenith. Let's say you meet Penenith as they're just coming out of the ritual.
Yeah.
Just because we're looking at time and I don't want to exceed a little, like over too much. As you notice, Penenith, you are coming out of the ritual, I guess about to head to the mess hall. Just as you bump into Nox and Drekka.
Being wanted to harass the emissary.
Hey, look, there's a lizard child thing.
We can maybe do that next time. But we're reaching the 3-hour mark, so that's why I'm saying. Yeah.
Totally. Nope. I'm down with that. That's great. Yeah.
And we can end on a bang of sorts. All right. Wait, did I bring Drekka?
No, she's still up there.
All right, cool.
As we approach, I will just go. I gave this book to him on account of me possibly not returning and dying on a mission. So that was a good call.
What are you trying to explain here, Nox?
The storybook?
Let's just say I'm very familiar with the sense of dying.
She kind of looks at you like wearily. Like she can see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
You have not been acting the same at all.
Couldn't believe that spell worked. He came back to life. It was amazing.
Speak of the devil.
Hello.
Drekka meets Penenith.
Hello, Penenith. You are the one responsible for bringing my cousin back.
She basically she bows her head and takes your hand.
I thank you.
I'll start to bow to return it and probably knock her in the head.
She's.
Because I'm so awkward. I'm like,
She's much taller than you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, because he's.
Yeah. It's just the model. She's much taller than you, though. Yeah.
Okay. But I had to. He's my friend. When he doesn't hate me.
Rival?
No.
Gary Ash kind of situation?
It was great. It was great.
I would, like I said, my thanks go to you, and I am so glad that Nox has somebody out here looking after him.
Oh yeah, the healing in the Empire is amazing. Banana, can you go quickly rummage through your belongings and bring us the book I gave you?
The storybook?
Yep, the storybook.
And right to out of character, that was the book that told about
Nutarth and Avishal. Yeah.
But Pengu still thinks he has.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hamish was the one to steal that one.
Right. Okay. So sure, I'll go. I'll get it and come back. And
we all walk in.
well, okay. We'll go outside of the guard's ears.
Yes, I don't think it's good to.
And no, they were just talking about resurrection magic. It's fine. That's not fiendish.
Fine. No.
It's not fiendish. It's big old
Cleric.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you approach the grove, Dreka can't help but stop in her place, looking at this creature wrapped up in this almost heart-like vines. I see. It has been a while since I've seen such extravagant nature magic.
I think he might be kind of my brother, but anyway.
Huh?
Don't look at the funny nature magic. Hey, Nox, do you think you feel weird because when I brought you back to life, I was like praying to Nudarth, and I'm gonna say that Nudarth, and does she react?
Ah, this is the dragon creature that you mentioned.
She looks at you, Nox.
Nox not listening. Nox currently having the biggest shit-eating grin he possibly can imagine.
What is yes, Nudharth, my cousin. He has told you of this great being, this great dragon. You have not visited the continent of Gardenia, have you not?
That's where we all came from, right? That's where I like teleported to accidentally.
That's where you basically ended up, like at the very beginning of the campaign. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of was there by accident.
You are not aware of the continent, though.
No, I was there and I looked for a way to come home and closed my eyes a lot.
There we have, how do you say, many draconic lords, big dragons. Did you see the man that I was talking to? The small dragon man.
I saw him. I was gonna go. That's a man, not a child. He's so little.
He is one of the oldest dragonborn. An emissary so strong that he is usually sent to find and hunt down and, well, write down all the knowledge of dragons. And since this continent is vast and we know so little, now that the Empire is aware of the presence of Nudharth, this great green dragon, that is why he is here.
He loved this place. He's why I'm here. Why I exist.
Yes. I think you might have quite an understanding with this emissary. He is would be quite interested to learn about you. And your Nox, what are you doing? She turns around, almost glancing. As
the conversation going, Nox just slowly creeping up on the entangled body. Slapping back it up. It's stuck. It's still next to it.
Yeah.
Slapping stack it on the shoulder, just going. Very good job. It looks finished.
As you take a step forward, Nox, your body goes almost limp. The large throbbing, I shouldn't say this. Large throbbing leaf-like this large throbbing leaf-like entity seems to like take form, and then the creature that is laying there curled up in a cocoon seems to like crack as a green bright light takes form. Nox falling to the ground. And in that moment, Stuckit, who has been basically standing perfectly still this entire time, is knocked from his feet. Knocked about 20 feet from the, like, as a huge wave of energy bursts from this giant plant-like entity.
My mind.
As Swamp Penny, or the newly formed entity, give me a second because I can't stand this fucking thing up, takes form. Nox is unconscious, just for, well, not unconscious, but knocked down. Taria is not here. As you see the creature take form and step out. Oh, God. Finally. Whoa.
The fuck?
God, it's good to not be in there anymore. And there we're going to end the session.
You ass.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. So Avisham now has a form.
Wait.
I didn't do it, Nox.
What does he have the same form as? I mean, the same stance as Ramas?
As a Ramas? What, is he going to attack someone?
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, here.
I was looking for reasons to motivate people.
Yeah.
I know that if I tell Otak that we have a big monster over there,
that's one.
Right,
yeah, that's one.
There is Snow White, a woman, so Ramas will come right away.
Yeah, he'll come. Yep.
He's gotta be something.
This meme has been self-created by the 20. That's all.
There is also. Oh yeah, I would just say that Snow White was working against Jadal, so Penenet could come, maybe.
Well, yeah, Penny saw those
I'm wondering
visions.
what you're gonna
as
say
a-
for Ruby.
Yeah. Peneneth did see the visions. Yeah. Ruby will just do as she's told.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Just remember, Ruby, good soldiers follow orders.
Good.
Now
Yep.
go on.
Even though you're not necessarily a soldier anymore. Listen, I've been talking all day, all right?
Ruby hasn't signed the contract.
No, I haven't.
But yeah, this, like I said, 3-hour mark. We'll continue next time. We still have some NPCs and stuff to talk to, and we have equipment to do. We can maybe do a little of that off stream for next session. But most cases, I think a good old finisher of Avishal basically now having human material form, or humanish.
Who's Avishal?
Humanish. Yeah. Avishal is the twin brother of Newtarth.
I remembered that name.
Oh, I knew the name, but
It's also Nox's patron.
it's also
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna say that out loud, but I knew that. Mm-hmm.
So. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well,
now
that
your
took
boss
a
can
neat twist.
criticize you in person.
Well,
But he's my brother.
well, technically he's your brother, but he's also your brother, I guess. Technically, I mean, because he has some sort of connection to Newtarth in the brotherly sense. But
He's your double half brother.
yeah, he's your double half brother, technically. Yeah.
He's your uncle cousin twice removed.
That's it.
Uncle cousin.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Doge. Hello, welcome. We're just about to finish, unfortunately. So yeah, we will see how the party deals with this new information. Hopefully, maybe we will have to see if they're gonna gear up and fight their way out, or literally just become servants to the Empire, or maybe take a risk and try Derek's plan.
Portal. Yeah, let's. Penny wants nothing to do with this whole. He doesn't like being conscripted, and he naively signed up to be a Greyhawk, but
Let's go,
no.
Penny. Let's go.
Just go home.
Fuck
Get
off.
out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Although this, like I said, like this is also one of the things where like there is a threat going north. Jadal has been quiet for quite a while, and he is a threat to your home. So,
Fuck you, Jettle.
Yeah.
Wait, but
Please
she
don't.
signed the contract, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Hey, the contract, the contract is fine. Like, if you sign it, like, it's it's not like it's you die if you break the contract. It's just
No, but she'll be AWOL if we leave.
Well, we're gonna kidnap her.
Yeah.
I'm fine with going AWOL. Shay doesn't really care that much.
I'm just saying, all the rest of us we can just leave as we want. She's the only one that signed the contract.
Technically, yeah.
I
Technically.
thought Ramas was made to sign a contract too.
Let's see. Who should we raid, guys?
Banished. Fine, we can go live with someone else.
Let's see. Who we got? Who we got?
I've lived in a forest before.
You said something about the wizard stopped him or some shit?
The wizard stopped him? Say again, sorry?
I thought you said something like the mage had stopped him, so I thought he was made to sign said contract too.
No, the mage just basically had a talk with him. So it's
Okay.
it's literally the problem with the contract is it's not really that major. It's just basically a re-signing of your employment, right? And technically, if you don't remember, you were technically doing, you were doing what you were supposed to do. You showing up to your places, being a patrol unit. It would just be more of the same, but this was more specifying you as guardsmen, not actual like patrollers, not scouts, not you would literally just be like, you watch this door for 6 sessions, 6 hours, you sit on this door, more of a defense unit, because nobody can trust you. Nobody can trust you. No, these new people can't trust you. You gotta earn that. So I mean, you could always go down that route of, hey, let's just grind our rep again, but you know what, I mean, I don't think you guys want to do that. That doesn't sound like it'd be that much fun. All right. You know what? Let's go Riot. He's playing some Call of Duties or whatever. I don't think I've got anybody who's doing any D&D stuff, so unless anybody else does.
No.
Do not.
No.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. See you next week, everybody. Can I get a sheet? Can I get a exclamation mark players from somebody just so if you're not following any of my players, go follow my players. They're cool guys and all that jazz.
Thank you so much for watching.
Have a good one, guys. We'll be back
Thank you for watching.
2 weeks from now.
Bye.
And hopefully
Bye.
you have a good rest of your weekend. Cheerio FX, copying whatever the message.
Stereo, pip, pip.
I'm tired.
Can we get a goodbye from Hamish?
Fucking doing a shit in his pillowcase. No, he's not. He's changed his ways. He's actually being really respectful to Derek's stuff. He missed him.
Jesus, shitting in a pillowcase.
What?
I thought that was Othek.
That's the thing to do. No, everybody does it now.
Apparently,
In the cab.
actually, Othak went to take a poo in the pillowcase, but there was already a poo there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking yeah.
I haven't been here yet. Other people have already pooped.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
Can I cast the spell Glock?
Yeah. You have to visit the dwarves. They're the only ones that know how to make muskets. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
it's a seventh level spell called Blunderbuss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Derek's probably looking around the house is like, what's all this brown string stuff?
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
He said Othek
you
gave
guys
some
are
strings.
basically homeless, but I became homeless because of that. Because of all that.
Smells like Funyuns.
Yeah, that's the only reason you want to follow like the teleport. You're like, I want to get away from this place. I just want to leave.